easy game.
Yeah, it's always difficult to play against Spanish teams. We know they play really well. They are good on the ball. We know the coach also was here in England already. Their teams always play a good football in defense, really well organized. It's always tough to play against them, but I think we do a good job. Sometimes we have to be patient and don't press all the time. And I think we do the right job. The main point was the 3 points and we get it.
Did you feel in the last 5 minutes there was something there?
I always have the feeling we will win the game. Also when they score, I feel it we can come again to the game and turn it around. After the goal of Alex, everyone feels the atmosphere. It was unbelievable. The push from the fans was incredible. Some big saves from David, who helps a lot to be in the game, to keep the result 1-1. And after at the end, Cristiano, as always we said, strikers have that feeling to score, and he has it once again.
He has it all his life, I think, that feeling, huh?
I think we finished the game with two strikers where we know any ball in the box, they will be alive for everything. So Eddie and Cristiano, they always are alive. Everything the defender drops or the keeper drops over there, we know they can score at any moment. That's why we start to do more crosses when Eddie comes on, and we get the goal. We are really happy for that. 3 points, 2 amazing points, and 3 important points.
Yes, because this group is going to be difficult. You've got Atalanta next twice. Obviously, it's a tight group.
No, it's a tight group, as every group in Champions League. As you see yesterday, for example, Sheriff won against Madrid. They have 6 points in 2 games. Who expect that? 0-1. So you have to respect every team. You know, modern football is changed a little bit. It's not like in the past where the big teams will spend more, win every time. Now small teams who doesn't spend a lot are well organized and do really well. So your focus has to be always a high level.
Well done, big 3 points. Thank you.
It was indeed a big 3 points. There was pressure on them going into this. They got the job done. We didn't think they would. I mean, we all thought it would end up being a draw. But just how big a moment was it that they have now taken all 3 points tonight?
Huge. Obviously, the way they lost to Young Boys, it was so important that they got a result, and it didn't look like they were going to get one. Villarreal, arguably deserved something from the game. But when you have players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Cavani that came on and really affected the game, Jesse Lingard as well, Ole Gunnar got his subs right today. Brought on players who could affect the game. They pushed for it. The energy was there. The crowd was up for it. And Cristiano Ronaldo rises to the occasion. So David De Gea makes some huge saves in the game to keep him in it. But this team, Villarreal, they kept trying to play, even to the end. They were looking for a goal, but I just thought the energy coming from Cavani was so important. And the crowd believed that there was a goal there. You could just feel it. And Fred plays his part as well, stands it up, and great from Jesse, gets a little touch. And you know he's going to score there, don't you, Mark?
I just thought the subs brought so much energy. I was surprised that Jesse Lingard wasn't the first substitute, if I'm honest. To only give him 6 minutes plus injury time at the end, I thought, wow, he's absolutely flying at the moment. I actually thought Cristiano Ronaldo was going to take a back step and bring that down with his chest. He heads it down to Jesse and then gets the return pass, and of course, the rest is history. But, wow, what a finish. And as I say, I think you called it right there, Owen, in terms of Villarreal probably did deserve something on the balance of play. But the more and more and the longer the game went, the more and more you fancied Manchester United. And I was really impressed with their energy as the game went.
Absolutely, and it's actually United's latest ever winner in a Champions League game. What does it feel like when you score so late on in a game? Because you've been there before.
Yeah, I mean, it is. The later you score in a game, the bigger the game, obviously, it just sends you all crazy. Okay. I mean, the adrenaline rush, you just cannot beat it. It's what you miss. It's almost like a drug. It's what you miss about football when you retire. So, yeah, lots of people can score winners, which are brilliant. But to do it with literally the last kick of the game is something else.
Must be special. Well, it was Ronaldo, obviously, that scored the winner. But they had to come from behind, didn't they? They've had to do that 17 times now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And it was because Alcacer scored the first goal.
Look, this was a fabulous move. Pau Torres was brilliant in the game. The midfield was really good, and they break. It's just a terrific goal from a good side. Alcacer finishes it off, but you know, this whole move, Mo, was terrific. The ball in between the lines. Scott McTominay gets dragged out there, and there's a big gap. Alcacer drops off to receive it. Varane goes with him, and it just leaves a big gap, and it causes problems, doesn't it?
Poetry in motion, I think, there from Villarreal. The way they pass forward, pass back, pass forward again. None of this sideways football. If you can penetrate and break lines, then that's exactly what you've got to do. Great movement in the build-up. Great, passing. The accuracy of the passing, and that lad there, Danjuma, has been a thorn in the side of Manchester United all game. Sets it up perfectly for him to score. So yeah, it was a very, very good goal, and you thought at that point, I can't see Manchester United getting into the game. With the way the game was going, it's going to take some changes, and the changes did work for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
And it actually took a moment of magic, didn't it, for them to get back into it. Just talk us through this goal, Michael, because it was special.
It was. I think that Manchester United relied too much on this, just individual brilliant moments. And I think what we saw in the last 5 or 10 minutes is much better from Manchester United in terms of you felt the team were, it was a team more like, OK, Cristiano Ronaldo scored the goal, but let's just pause for a minute to marvel at that for a strike. That is one of the hardest techniques in the game. A ball dropping, it's almost, you've got to let it fall behind you in many ways. And as soon as he hit it, you're right behind you. You just know it's going into that bottom corner. It was one of the great goals Old Trafford has seen in quite a few years. Not
a bad time to score your first goal for Manchester United, because that was his first.
Yeah, I tell you what, from the training ground, that was. And credit Bruno Fernandez, picks him out, obviously, his Portuguese, teammate. But I tell you what, everything about it was just pure class. Honestly, I couldn't get over how difficult a skill that was to actually keep that down and get that into the back post. He meant every part of that finish. So the ball from Bruno was fabulous, but the finish was exquisite. He's got a wonderful left foot, Tellus, and when he gets in that spot, he is some threat.
I wanted to pick up on something that Bruno Fernandez said in his interview, and you pointed out as well, and that was David De Gea, because he made some crucial saves, didn't he? Because Villarreal had so many opportunities to score, and including late on in the game as well.
Yeah, I thought David De Gea, especially in the first half, was Manchester United's best player. He made so many big saves. I mean, Mo mentioned Danjuma. He was a threat all game. I think it's Dia there, he makes a good save off him, and then Tellus gets a block. But David De Gea was one of the most important players, and he's been fabulous this season, obviously taking over from Dean. They can rely on him. He's back to his best. And when you have Cavani and Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandez and Pogba at the top of the pitch, you can find a way to win games late. They have so many options, United, at the top of the pitch, that is quite scary.
He got a bit lucky there for his save, because he actually pushed it out into a dangerous area. However, it did bounce right in front of him. It's the worst one for a goalkeeper to try to save. I mean, he kept it out, but he relied on his defence as well in the second half. But first half, it was save after save, and that's when he really did earn his corn.
Well, welcome back to Old Trafford. No goals to show you, but plenty to talk about. And United actually started really brightly, but since that spell, it's been quite underwhelming.
It has, yeah. The first 5 minutes, I thought, this is a bit more like it in terms of a good start to the game. But wow, Villarreal have been really, really good, and particularly really good down this left-hand side. Diego Dalot has had a bit of a nightmare. I don't know how he's going to work this one out. Danjuma has been, electrifying in parts. I'm not sure where Lindelof is actually moving there. Dalot doesn't do anything, to prevent him getting in. But it's just wave after wave, particularly down this left-hand side, Owen. Yeah,
I mean, look, Danjuma's been fantastic. Moreno helps him. And Mason Greenwood's got to help Dalot. It's been really difficult for him. Danjuma 1v1, I think he looks near on unplayable. I think he's got the better of Dalot in these situations, tricky and skillful. And there's a reason this Villarreal side went to Real Madrid. Probably should have won. Nicked the draw. They should be ahead in this game. And Danjuma's the one with the biggest threat. Every time he touches it, he looks like something's going to happen.
That's brilliant, that. I mean, the pace, the power, how direct he is. You almost know what he wants to do half the time. He's got the presence of mind to know what's behind him here, a well-worked set piece, and he probably saves the best till last. I mean, he stands up Dalot here. Everybody knows there's space in behind. Dalot does as well, but how do you prevent it? That's raw pace, power.
You can't do anything about that, can you?
Well, the finishing, maybe toe poke it, but But he's given them all sorts of problems. That's the first thing that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs to sort out at half-time. Then, of course, we got Varane, who's probably the most experienced back there, who's the normal starter. You know, makes a good interception there, but this is a big mistake for someone experienced like this, who's very lucky not to get punished. And then it's chance after chance, really, for Villarreal.
Yeah, look, they should have scored 2v1. Gallo does well to buy a bit of time. It's a poor ball from Alcácer. But to be fair, they've had so many chances. You can tell this is a well-coached side. They're good in possession. Parejo in midfield and Kapua are really good players. In wide areas, they got really good players. Obviously, we've seen Danjuma. But Pino on the right-hand side there, that was a really good piece of skill. So they've played really well in this first half, and they should have something to show for it.
They should, and we can't take anything away from how well they've performed in this first half. Are you surprised at what you've seen from Man United?
I thought they'd do a bit more. I mean, look, when your best player is your goalkeeper, then you know you're not at a great first half. So I think there's more to come in the second half. I think they'll attack a bit more.